If you are a creative, you in trouble.
Everybody getting fired. Everybody's losing their job unless they become a what?
Prompt engineer.
A prompt engineer.
Now here's
so if you don't know how to ask it, your ass gone.
ChatGPT, we're now seeing that people are being paid money. There's a new job title as a prompter. They're paying $350 to prompt.
To prompt engineer. Yeah.
You guys ragging on the fake gurus out there. How do you basically verify like if someone is worth their weight?
It's going to be difficult for people to vet someone that is successful if they've never actually been with somebody that's successful.
You let the story from the person or the result from the person, and that person tells the story, and then everybody relates to the story.
Most people are going to give away some free information. Try to apply their free information. Try to use what they have out in the atmosphere that's already free and apply it and see if what they gave you actually works.
Can you think of a point in time in your life where you were not chasing success?
No.
Man, I was locked up. What the hell?
I knew you were going to say that.
But even then, he was still chasing greatness because you were trying to better yourself.
Absolutely. Because not too many successful people can say they just stopped chasing success.
There's people with no imagination.
Yeah.
If you don't have imagination, you got nothing to be disciplined about. I've been seeing this a lot lately. Dr. Dre recently sold his music catalog for $250 million. For Dr. Dre, I'm going to assume he's got a play coming. Yeah. So you need to be liquid.
You need liquid.
Need liquid?
Yeah, but I mean, you talk about legacy, dog. Man,
yeah, but you know, $200 million is a legacy too.
I had that very conversation about 4 hours ago and said, we need to talk to the vault. That very conversation with the creative.
Yeah,
that very conversation.
I tried with my past employees for them to create a meetup of creatives, and we did it at my office in the 9th floor. And about 13, 14 people came, but they didn't continue to do it.
Right.
Because there has to be a cultive area where they go to, because it only makes the area better.
Right.
Right. They're so disenfranchised and all apart. Like,
right.
I mean, Tony, how many people you know in Winston? And that's what happens. And so what happens is somebody like me that's trying to fill my staff up, everybody, whether they can afford it or not, left. Because and they go to live in Charlotte and they don't even be getting paid. They're just happy to be around other creators.
Exactly. We're gonna have that.
So
yeah,
my perspective of it is, yeah, that's the cultural aspect of it. But as far as the practical aspect of it, I'm saying your gold, your lifestyle is the diamonds, is the jewels. And if I was a creative and I ran into you or saw you, I would just be like, can I tag along for the day? And that is where all the art can flow from, because you have the content. Your life is content. All that has to be done is captured. You understand what I'm saying?
When I was younger, probably 15, I'm 38 now. So probably 15 plus years ago, I used to say back in the day, if I ever hit the lotto, right? That was the only way I ever thought I'd get money. If I ever hit the lotto, and I didn't even play the lotto, so I don't even know how I was going to hit it. But I was like, if I ever hit the lotto, what I want to do is I want to create a building that is 4 stories. Big building, 4 stories. Not like, obviously it's not a high rise, but 4 stories where each level had a different creative part, right? So you can learn, like, here's another thing. You can learn like engineering for music, photography, videography, and then like editing or motion graphics, all that stuff. And what happens is it would be a 100% free after school program. But it was like the dopest labs. Each floor had the dopest of everything you ever wanted as a creator. And the only thing you had to do to get in there was learn that it was prerequisites within the floor.
Each level.
Level.
I got you.
So if you wanted to use at will, whatever, come in and go as you at will, you had to do these.
You had to go through these
little things and make it 100% free. And because at that time, what I was thinking, which still holds true today, I always said, if you're creative and you can, this is before this whole thing in economy we are in now, or the creator economy. This was like 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, super dope.
And I was saying, if you can create things, no matter what happens to you in your life, nobody can ever hold you down. Like, for example, if you went to prison, if you got a felony and you knew how to take the best photos and edit the best videos and do this, no matter what your background was, you could always make money.
Yep, that's it.
And so, inshallah, maybe one day I can do that.
Well, I sent you a book the other day, Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy or something like that. And it was just a part in there that I thought was pretty dope. I wanted Rod to hear and everything, right? So when your subconscious mind actually accepts the stuff that your conscious mind is telling it, then that's when stuff starts to work. So everything that you said you actually been doing in pieces since then. And so when dude walked in here yesterday, right, he was like, yo, this is all I need. This was a floor though.
Yeah.
This was one of the floors that you've manifested, right? But it's just on one plane right here, right? You got another floor around the corner where we came from on, what's that, trade?
Yeah.
What's that called?
Downtown.
Trade Street or something, whatever, right? That's another floor, right? Then you go into the office and in there where I did the joint at another. So those are different floors and they're going through the prerequisite to be able to
use whatever they want.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So everything's manifested until you get it all in one spot. But it's you doing it. You're doing it. It's pretty dope.
I had a similar idea where it's called the dojo. So you know what a dojo is for martial arts, right?
I know that it has something to do.
It's a place where you go practice to get better.
Okay.
And so, but it was going to be for the arts, where it's like a room with a stage, a room that's like a dance room that had a mirror, a room that you can come in and practice guitar, a room that you can come in and practice doing your music videos, a room. So yeah, very similar. So creatives can come in and just get better at their craft. Yeah, that's dope, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny to look at today. Now everybody's got a high dollar cell phone and camera in their cell phone and stuff like that. And everybody now has to be some type of creator in order to be able to thrive, right? So it's like even if you're just a regular employee and you're 9 to 5 and that's your thing, you got to know how to create a dope resume or hire somebody that does.
You have to,
right? And or like now these days I've seen
not no more.
Yeah, I mean, because we'll talk about that in a minute.
Later.
But you know,
later.
for your resumes, you either got to hire somebody to do that, or now I'm seeing jobs where they're like, send in a video of yourself,
absolutely,
explaining why.
Yep.
And that we won't even care about your CV. We won't even care about your resume. Send in a video.
Right.
I've been saying that the whole time anyway. I got these interns rocking right now at the gym. It's pretty dope because it actually helps me create the systems that I need to go through the courses, the prerequisites and everything for the trainers for the multiple gyms that we're going to do this year and everything. So it's pretty dope how life, gives you that stuff. So, I'm telling them that, all that technical stuff that y'all learned, over there at T, don't mean nothing to me because check out how we do this right here. And then I got to take them through everything from the ground up because I understand what people learn in the book and what people do in the real world.
Practical.
Yeah. So you got to take the technical, blend it with the practical to make the magical. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the magic actually happens when you can blend them two circles. So I started explaining this stuff to them and they're like, man, I never really saw it like that. You know what I mean?
So you got bars?
Yeah,
did you write that or did ChatGPT write that?
ChatGPT.
Okay, good.
They ain't even let me in yet.
They didn't let you in yet?
Nah, it's capacity or something like that right now, and they're going to hit me back when they got room for me or whatever.
I'm so glad I be jumping on stuff mad early.
Yeah, early. Actually, action oriented.
I love tech too, but I'm a tech nerd. But Rod, on the other hand,
right.
The other day after the pod,
we're
like, yo, have you been on ChatGPT? Nah, I've been hearing about it.
I'm drinking R7, which is an energy drink.
Would you try to stay up?
Just try to stay up to get through this podcast.
Because he was up all night. Up all night. Like a kid in the candy store with the new joint, which is the future, though. It's the wave, man. Like,
it's not only the wave. It's crazy because kids or whoever, like me and EA were talking, let's back up. Let's talk about what ChatGPT is. It's an artificial intelligence communication that you can have with a computer that can do things for you that you used to have to pay humans to do. Very intelligent humans. But,
or it would take you forever to write or figure out. Or
what's a good way to explain what it is? Do you know?
It's a speech model. So basically, they take information from the internet to kind of like teach this model like to speak within that you can have conversation with, and a lot of it is based off of like different milestones. So
that is a terrible way to explain it to somebody.
So basically, this artificial intelligence, like you said, you can ask it anything, and it's going to give you the answer in whatever form you want. But if you don't really know how to ask it or know how to interpret it, it ain't gonna really be.
Why is that? That's such a crazy lesson in life. Like it goes back to like, so ChatGPT, it's called prompting it. Like, so when you ask it a question, you have to prompt it to get in the frame of mind for the question you're about to ask it. So they call it prompting.
Yes.
It's funny that if you don't know how to ask a question, aka prompting, on ChatGPT, you'll get a different answer than I get if we want the same thing.
Yeah, the depth of the response will not be that great.
Yes.
And what the epiphany I had at some time this morning was you have to be a storyteller. Because if you tell it a really, really good story,
you're gonna get.
What time did you stay up till, bro?
I don't know.
I know your wife was like, yo, what's the problem,
she was
bro?
knocked out, 2 a.m., 2:30.
Yo, so the simple way to say it is you have not because you ask not.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people, so today after the workout, right, we literally, we sat there, right? Somebody that just started, young man just started a few weeks ago, maybe about a month ago, right? He been rocking and he all in, you know what I mean? And he said, can I get a shirt? I said, how long do it take to make a habit? He was like 21 days. I said, how long do it take to make it a way of life? You know, the name of AWOL is a way of life. So he was like, I don't know, 30, 40, 60. I said, you're guessing. I said, do me a favor, go to Google and find out how long it takes to make it a way of life. And he didn't know how to ask Google because it kept popping up. How long does it take to make a habit? It kept saying 21 days, 21. But what you ask Google is, how long does it take to make a lifestyle? If you ask Google that, it's going to tell you 90 days. So if he don't make what we do a way of life, he got to be there for 90 days to make it a way of life before he can even buy in. That's his hazing, his paddle, whatever. You know what I mean? Like he had to go, all right. I mean, y'all know what I'm saying?
Why are we bringing this up again?
That had nothing to do with y'all. I don't know why y'all reacted like that.
I don't know why either, but you know.
It was the point.
Had nothing to do with y'all. My man was having a conversation.
All I'm saying is, like, it took him 20 minutes to figure out how to, and I had 3 other people helping him Google it at the same time because he couldn't find the answer. And I had other people who were standing there say, yo, it's all around you. So I got billboards up in their gym that says 90-day challenge, you know, make it a way of life. Like it's written all around the gym. You understand what I'm saying? But people just don't, they don't understand the principles behind the way we rocking. You know what I'm saying?
There's so many lessons you have as a child that if you, that come back and play itself again as an adult, but in a much bigger way.
Yes.
Like you were playing the pebbles. It was pebbles before. And now when you're adult, it's like a mountain. But if you didn't understand the pebble, then forget the
boulder
mountain.
Gonna crush you.
It's going to crush you.
The boulder heavy.
So ChatGPT, we're now seeing that people are being paid money. There's a new job title as a prompter.
Yo,
prompt
fired.
engineer.
What is it?
Prompt engineer.
So they call him the prompt engineer.
Listen, everybody getting fired. Everybody's losing their job unless they become what?
Prompt engineer.
A prompt engineer.
Now
if you don't know how to ask it, your ass gone.
Here's the crazy thing. There is no prior certificate that says you know how to prompt.
Absolutely. I feel you.
I was talking to somebody today, and the way I described it is, this is the radio. This
all over
is
again.
Television.
Yeah.
This is the internet.
Yes, sir.
When there was no industry, and then all of a sudden, there's an industry. And if you figured out the radio, if you figured out the television,
you made a bag.
What?
You made a bag.
So this is that.
Yeah, this bread.
They're paying,
this sliced bread.
They're paying between, I think, 200,000 to 300,000.
I think I seen 355.
Yeah, 350 like 350
to prompt.
To prompt engineer. Yeah.
Because if you know how to prompt, you get rid of 10 employees for me, 5 employees for me.
A couple hundred probably. Yeah, word.
So,
Whew.
so I shared this with a pastor friend of ours. We all know the guy. So I had.
Oh, wow.
No, hold on. No, hold on. No, hold on. Stay with me.
Oh, man.
This is. Stay with me.
See, I want to go listen to the sermon this Sunday. When we get off the joint, tell me what church.
You're a genius.
So, yeah. Because I got to go listen to the sermon.
You're a genius.
If he don't know how to ask it, then he gonna get a watered down version of a sermon, and then he got to pour that over the people, and he gonna mess up the. That's the way. That's why we messed up now.
So we're sitting there. We're talking.
How you tell us about the
him,
joint?
I said, "Did you hear about this thing?" Right? He said, "Nah." No, he said, "Wait. Yeah." So this preacher put in a group last night. Have y'all heard about this? And what do y'all think this is going to do to the body of Christ and to the way sermons are being developed? And he was like, so what is it? How does it work? I pulled out my phone. I typed in, write me a sermon about Adam and Eve, focusing specifically on faith. So it was general and then specific at the same time. In 45 seconds rather, the thing starts typing. And he looks at it, and he's like, and he throws my phone down, like, I'm afraid of that. And I'm like, oh, so what do we, and then somebody else was at the table, and I was like, you about to write the rest of the year sermons in about a day or two, aren't you? And he was like, no, I'm scared of that. So yeah, it's gonna change. If you are a creative, you in trouble.
You prompted wrong too.
Is that's your homeboy?
You're in trouble.
That's your homeboy?
What?
You prompt.
Does he watch this? Does he watch the podcast? Because
Yeah, he said he does.
Yeah.
He said he does. We'll find out.
You prompted wrong
Hopefully he
too.
put in the comment.
Because you should have said, act like you are a Christian scholar.
No, you should have said, write me a sermon about Adam and Eve in a TD Jakes tone.
Could have done that too.
It would have done that.
Could have done. It would have done that.
Bro, I have because I ask.
I asked.
I feel you. I'm telling you.
last night to get my 16 bars and use Jay-Z and Biggie's style.
So let's talk about that.
On the side, they're going to give me $350. I'm going to be a prompter on the low.
But let's talk
too.
about this. Let's
Yeah.
talk about this.
Yeah.
You last night, once you got a hold of it, after the third or fourth thing, you said, hold on, wait. You asked it to write you 16 bars.
16 bars.
In the voice of
Jay-Z
Jay-Z,
and
Big
Big.
Notorious Big, rhyming every other line, and it did it.
And it did.
Tough.
So what does that do to the music industry in the sense of like, what does that do?
So what it does is it's going to level the playing field if you're smart enough to know how to ask
prompt it
it
right.
what to do. It's going to level the playing field.
Yeah. So you still got to have the so I saw you on some Tyler Perry stuff, yesterday at the other studio. I saw you get into another character.
A lot of people have never seen that from you.
I know. So here's the thing. You are like a vertically integrated business.
Okay, what you mean by that?
I mean, but what I mean by that is everything from the ground up, you are affiliated with, know how to do, and have great knowledge on all of it. So you're connected to all of it, you get paid from all of it, and all of it has to go through you, right? Now, you got somebody that programs this, but then they give it to the pastor, and he don't know how to, or the actor, or the creator, the influencer, and then he don't know how to make it his. You understand what I'm saying? So now it's not as useful to him because it didn't come from like his original source or the way he get it and the way you understand what I'm saying? Some people won't know how to use it.
ChatGPT don't create swagger.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You still got to make it yours.
Yeah, right.
This is only, ChatGPT only enhances somebody who's already good.
Yeah.
So now if you take who's dope, makes him doper.
Right.
It takes somebody else mediocre, makes him dope.
Yeah, one of the reasons
Takes a
why.
lame
because-
person.
But
let me tell you one of the reasons why.
Because they got to prompt it.
Well, you prompt it and then it spit it out in 15 seconds as opposed to it might take you 2 hours to create it on your own.
not only that, I can be a ghostwriter now.
Let me tell you, you haven't
can
seen
be a ghostwriter.
brother. Wait. I got to tell you, there is AI software that you can describe a beat.
Absolutely.
and it will make the beat.
You can
Man,
you
he
can
know that. He
you
put
can
the
you
code
can
in.
tell it. So last night I told it, I described the song and I said, write a hook.
You was really
Based-
up late.
Write a hook based on this description.
So, let me tell you what you was trying to do. Can I tell you what he was trying to do, EA?
I was trying to break
EA.
it.
He was trying to break that joint.
Trying to break
He
it.
was trying to like, you know how he be doing me up here?
No,
He was
Don't
trying,
co-sign with that.
He was trying to make sure that this thing worked all the way. Like he was like, you know what? I'm gonna make this thing stop, or I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it
I was trying to
wrong.
break it. What can't
Yeah,
you do?
yeah, that's what
And
you
I
was trying.
couldn't
I know it.
find anything that it couldn't do.
So, quick question. So,
But
Rod,
I don't believe I'm smart enough to prompt
To
it
prompt
correctly.
it.
Yeah,
so Rod brought up a kind of a
said
good
you
point
are.
I'm not
about.
smart enough to.
Go ahead.
So Rod brought up a good point about his preacher and basically about adoption, right? So ChatGPT had 1 million users within 5 days of when it came out. So what do you guys think will happen if for someone who does not adopt this thing or does not change or adapt to what's coming?
It depends on what they do, but if they're in a space where creativity is important, they will be left behind.
So the biggest thing we talk about in Endgame podcast is like we want to be financially free because of time, right? We want our time back. We want that. That's our freedom, right? So if you're in a place where you actually gotta come up with this content yourself, do you see how much time you get back? Yo, I write content every single day, all week long. This gives me half my life back.
That's why I'm excited to see what somebody like you does with it.
Yeah.
Or like yesterday, you pulled up, write me a code in .net, and you almost threw the chair away.
Word.
Because this is what you said you used to pay 3-4 people to do.
Yep.
So
You see these commas?
here's to answer your question and to talk about what it will do. So most people, and I find this in life to be true in many sectors. Most people will run to the hype. 1 million views in a few days.
Mm-hmm.
Ask those original 1 million people how many are still using it and log in at least once a week. Very few.
And not only that, ask them, how are you going to use this going forward?
Yeah, and so
right? How are you going to adopt this for your business, for your personal life, whatever, dude?
So let's keep it 100 though.
Yeah.
When the iPhone came out, right? You were a businessman,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
When this came out, you seen it different than I seen it.
Okay.
You was like, I can be on the road doing these things that I used to have to do to be tied to a computer. It's
Right.
gonna make me more efficient.
Right.
At that point,
Everybody didn't.
huh?
Everybody didn't. They still got it.
That's my point.
I do all my shit from what's. I still ain't got a computer. I just bought a MacBook
You
today.
just today, yeah.
I
But
just
what I'm
bought a
saying, that's my point. So everybody
They gonna see it different.
ran to the iPhone because it was the hot thing, right? So the 1 million people ran to the iPhone.
Yeah.
A few people really dove deep into it to make
Right.
it as useful as it was,
Right.
and other people just use it same way they were using a flip phone.
The phone. Yeah, exactly. And that's what they're gonna do with this.
That's
They
what I'm
gonna do the
saying.
same exact thing with this.
That's with
until
everything, though.
Some people gonna go a little deeper, a little deep. So all this stuff, like to your point, is connected to all my iPads, the other MacBook at the gym, all the notes, all that stuff is connected. So whenever I pull one of these up, I got 5,000. This joint crazy. So
All your
y'all
notes.
know this though. Y'all know this, right? But it's 5,182 notes in this iCloud. If I type in the word transformation or something like that in there, right? I got notes that go all the way back to 2012 when I got out of jail and started putting my notes on these joints in my cloud. You understand what I'm saying? So now I could pull some stuff up and I could just literally look at the way I was thinking back then because the way I took notes. And when I was writing down, you understand what I'm saying?
100%.
And I'm able to use the same stuff from back then.
But
and
some
repurpose it.
people don't even know there's a note section in their iPhone.
Don't even know.
Don't
They
even
be
know.
texting somebody what they want to remember.
I just ignore that. Ignore that. I
what
knew
we
you laughed
said.
because you got that text before, or that might be you.
So listen, I have, a lot of clergy friends, a lot of pastor friends and stuff like that, right? And I actually helped one of them write their book. And I said, listen, you have all the content. So pick a subject and go back to and type that subject word in your title, in your notes, or whatever you use to write your sermons. And that's going to give you all the content you need to write the chapter on that subject. You extract the dopest stuff that you want to get across, and that's the stuff we'll give to the writer or to whoever is going to put it in the right, and then boom, the book's done. That's because my processes, because I create content all the time.
I wrote a children's book last night.
Last
Right,
night.
I already know what you're going to do with the
Yeah, I already know. Yeah.
Now, real quick, I gotta say this. Me and him had a conversation the other day. Check this out. I got a homeboy, right? And I was telling him that I taught him how to stretch coke back in the day. And I was telling him how to stretching coke was gold. It was like the secret where
Literally.
you'll be rich because of this secret. And then he was like, well, why didn't everybody just kind of tell, their friends and all this stuff? I was like, Rod, you gonna f the game up. Like, this is you keep to yourself. So he got the gold last night and went told everybody.
I told
the whole game.
I told
up,
a
man.
person.
You told that.
But yo, here's the crazy thing. They not gonna do nothing with it.
Exactly.
They're not gonna do
Let me
it.
tell you something. Can I tell you something?
My YouTube videos,
No disrespect to the homie.
my YouTube videos
Yes.
talking about real estate and documenting the journey, how I got rich, has over 25 million views.
Yeah.
Right?
You're right.
That is almost 10% of America. Do you think that 25 million people ran with that and got
I feel you. They did.
got wealthy?
They did. You're absolutely right. But listen, what I'm telling you. This guy
You can let the cat out of the bag.
This guy is a creative. He's you gotta pastors do sermons every week.
I know
so
who
they
you-
have
I know
to.
who you're talking about.
So I don't know who he told to. But here's
The
what I'm
homie,
saying.
y'all know
is-
what I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about.
Here's what I'm saying is, he's lying. He's going to use it to get the content.
He better learn how to use
He's
it.
going to type it in. He's going to use it. He's acting like he's not going to use it. He's going to use it.
He's like, this is better what I was gonna say.
Well, he's going, at least it'll give him something to say. Because most people don't got nothing to say, so they got to, let me tell you what a lot of them do.
Man, you can go to that
Watch
thing.
it.
I had an argument with my wife. I really want to let her know that I feel yada, 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 and I feel yada, yada, yada. I don't know how to say it. What's the best way for me to convey that da, 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 da. That mother came back with, say this.
Now, to Max's point, if the husband is still scared to say it, he ain't going to do nothing with
I'm
it.
just saying. I'm just telling you. I'm trying to break it.
I feel you.
You did not sleep.
I'm trying to break it.
You need another R7.
This is number
Ain't gonna
2.
take
I
one
drank
on the
one
road.
on the way over. And
That's only 120 milligrams.
R7. What does R7 stand for? What does that mean? I drink them.
The R is Reddick. That's his last name, Hassan Reddick.
Hassan Reddick.
And the 7 is his number.
His number?
Yeah, it's R7.
Gotcha.
And there's also like 7 things, right?
Yeah, 7 R's.
Yeah.
Revive, refuel, replenish. You see it across the top?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you see it? That's all-
Reignite,
that's all the
restore,
science.
recover,
Hey, I was-
revive, replenish, repair, refuel.
Yo, we got to talk about the person that wrote in about the what was the joint about the person that wrote in what we was kind of talking about before we started rolling. Yeah, the guru joint. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So in the previous episode that we had, you guys mentioned it's basically ragging on the fake gurus out there, right? So some of the basically the conversation on the internet has basically been like, how do you basically verify like if someone is worth being, I guess, it's kind of worth their weight?
I mean, it's going to be and I think we did talk about this. It's going to be difficult for people to vet someone that is successful if they've never actually been with somebody that's successful. But there are some steps. You even talked about it.
Yeah, we did.
Most people are going to give away some free information. It is the model now. I want to say I was probably one of the pioneers that helped create that model where I just never stopped giving out free information.
Right.
So the free information, try to apply their free information. Try to use what they have out in the atmosphere that's already for free and apply it. And see if you like or what they gave you actually worked.
That's it. Once it worked, then you
might
try it
buy
again.
in. You buy in.
Yeah, you take the next step, whatever that is.
There's no foolproof way though.
Yeah, no, it ain't. So, and I learned this joint a long time ago. It was like the art of the effortless sell. And the art of the effortless sell was basically testimonials. You let the story from the person or the result from the person, and that person tells the story, and then everybody relates to the story. That the people that relate to the story are going to buy in to whatever it is that you got. So if you're getting results, people who want that result will actually buy into that result, and boom, you take the next step. But you said something that was dope, which is you're not really buying. You're buying into community. You're buying into the network. You're buying into the resources that come with all that stuff. The thing is that a lot of people don't really know that. You know what I'm saying? So they gotta get in there and fill themselves and fill their way around, and then spend $20,000 by the time they actually got to that point.
They never had community before, so it's hard to understand what you're getting yourself into. You know, I was asking my staff the other day. I was asking some of the guys, the producers and editors, and I was like, yo, what separates successful people from unsuccessful? Yeah, let's just say that. Let's just, for simple terms, what separates those two people?
I got one you could start with. I know that successful people are willing to do the things that unsuccessful people are not willing to do. That's one thing. I know that for a fact.
What is that, though?
So GPT, AI, what was it called?
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, right? There are going to be some people that are going to take it to the next step, right? And that's going to take that million people number, right, and shrink it down to like 100,000. That's why it's always like 10% of the people are going to get a transformation. You got 200 people in the gym. You got 20 people that are really, really doing it, right?
Yeah, you got two people that are going to see the crazy results.
The crazy joint. And then that's the 1%. You know what I mean? And there's each level, there's stuff that people are willing to do and some that but they're not willing to do. And some people are willing
But that's
to
like, I'm looking for like a real layman's term. Like I get you said it was real layman. I agree with you, but I'm like, in your opinion, like, what separates those two people?
delaying gratification. So when you do, some people don't want the level of comfortability is, well, I know all this stuff sounds cliche, right? So sometimes we don't do certain things because it won't happen as fast. So the successful person kind of can delay gratification a tad bit longer to see if the stuff actually works. You know what I'm saying? Or to say, oh man, that was dope. Let me take the next step. And then it's compound interest. At like everything in life, we just got to compound and compound and compound. And you ain't get that night. Like you wasn't with creating content. I mean, you probably was you probably was pretty, cool with I don't know. You probably just could do a lot of stuff when you were younger.
I tried a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you tried a lot of stuff, and we don't really get good at, mostly everything is a learned behavior, right? They say nature versus nurture, right? And not a lot of stuff comes natural to us. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to this new stuff that's just been put here. You know what I'm saying? So once you do stuff over and over, so he just said, I don't think that I'm a good prompter to the thing that, like, you know what I mean? But he was up till 2:00 in the morning.
He trying to get good.
So no, but think about where he started there, and y'all gave him a couple tips and pointers, and then he went home and practiced all night long, and where he got from that work right there. Now, some people say it's 2:00 in the morning, man. I ain't no way I'm staying up that late. I got to be up at such and such, right? And then they start to stop and do all that stuff. And he did probably 5 days worth of stuff, far as the amount of practice that he got on the joint. You understand what I'm saying?
100%.
And I don't know. Go ahead, Victor.
I was gonna say, I'll use you guys to test this theory. Can you think of a point in time in your life where you were not chasing success? Can you think of a point in time in your life where you were just like, I'm good?
No.
Can you think of a time in your life, Lynch?
Man, I was locked up. What the hell?
I knew you were gonna say that.
But even then, he was still chasing greatness because you were trying to better yourself.
Absolutely. You took yourself, your personal development went through the roof, right? So my definition of success is that relentless movement towards that thing that you call success. And it's a continuous process and continuous progress.
Yeah.
So for the people who just stop and be like, I'm good, I'm chilling, I'm not trying to progress, whatever their situation is that they're comfortable with,
right,
and they're not trying to move towards that thing that they consider success, then they're not successful.
Yeah, because
not too many successful people can say they just stopped chasing success. regardless of what their situation looked like.
And the reason why I asked the question to the staff, I was generally just want to know what people's opinions were. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I just really wanted to figure out what people thought. Yeah. They said, I think the consensus was discipline. Like, they're just a lot of undisciplined people. Yeah. And I said, I agree with that. That's part of it. I mean, there's no right, wrong answer, but then I also said there's people with no imagination.
Yeah.
So if you don't have imagination, you got nothing to be disciplined about.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I watched this show about a Netflix special about tennis. I forget the name of it. This is one cat, this black cat. He's from.
I see it too.
Did you see that? So he's like one of the most talented tennis players. Okay. Like, so for I want to say it's the Australian Open. He hadn't played tennis in months. He makes it to like, the round before the quarterfinals. He actually wins the doubles, but the dude doesn't practice much. He doesn't play much, right? So that cat, you might say he's not disciplined, but he's disciplined whenever he locks in to the thing that he's chasing, right? And you might say he's not that creative, but he's a hell of a tennis player. So then you go, well, does that fit this guy, right? Because again, he's pretty much operating most of the time on his natural talent. And everybody tells him, oh my God, if you just locked in, you will be the greatest tennis player ever. But he's like, nah, I do it my way. Matter of fact, I don't think he had a coach. He didn't want to have a coach because he's like, I want to do it my way.
But the reason you don't know his name like that is because he hasn't done.
Well, people in the tennis world, they know his name. I don't.
Okay, tell me three tennis players. Not the black girls.
Not the black girls?
Yeah, not the black women. Tell me.
Nadal.
Okay.
McEnroe.
Okay.
What's your boy that's undefeated? Not undefeated, but he kills everybody. Reddick.
So my point is, though, is those people do those things that he's not willing to do.
Right.
So he's got to a certain point, and that comfort has kicked his ass.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so he may be successful in the sense of all the tennis players in the world, and he has this amount, but he could be Nadal.
Right.
He could have the Nike contract, but the comfort in the level that he's in has made him say, well, I'm good enough with this much effort, and I'm cool with that, so I'm just going to stay here.
Yep.
I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. That is his path. That's what he wants to do. I mean, it's like getting a job, like working your way up and getting a job, and you get to 120, and you're like, you know what? I'm no longer going to pursue the next level in management because I'm okay here.
Yeah.
And people do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I was asking the question in a sense, because there's people here that listen, or people across the world that we run into and talk to, and they can't quite understand why they haven't got to that point, right? And I just wanted to ask people generally, like, yo, what do you think separates somebody who's successful and not successful? And there's no right answer. I just wanted other people to hear it.
I mean, it is like everything you're saying is right, but they're all interrelated.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's called a process of manifestation. Like, I mean, I talk about this stuff all the time. If you ain't got no goal, which is your imagination or your vision, then you ain't got no discipline. Like,
because there's nothing to be disciplined about.
Well, where there's no vision, the people will perish. They actually throw off the discipline. They throw off restraints. Just think about it. If you ain't going nowhere where you're going to take your shirt off, then it don't matter if you stick to your diet or not. Right? I mean, you can cover it up. In the wintertime, I wear 4 or 5 shirts, and if ain't nobody going to see my stomach, then it don't really matter if I'm on it or not. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't have no goal, that makes sense, right? 100%. So now you walking around with only 5% of society writes down their goals, right? But them 5% is more successful than the other 95% combined. They actually employ the other 95% because they got goals, because they got vision, because they got discipline, because they got all the things that they willing to do, the things that other people willing to do. You fire them up because they don't see the forest for the trees, because they don't have no goals, because they don't have no discipline, and they just looking to get a check, think they're going to show up, punch the clock, go home, and keep getting paid, and they ain't get done. Get done because you got a vision, and you know that if it don't get done in a certain amount of time, you're not moving closer to your goals.
So what is it when people don't know what success is, or they don't have an idea what success
is? Everybody has to define it for themselves, like you said, and then that's the stuff that keep you moving. You know what I mean? And like you said, in jail, I was, because my definition was, the progressive realization of a worthy idea or a goal. And if that was for me to finish this book, then I was going to be on the bunk and knock this book out and not watch BET at the time. You know what I'm saying? And then if it was for me to get this 6-pack, and because we was doing body fat composition in there. So, you know what I'm saying? Like every Saturday we was going to do our body fat and find out if our joints dropped or not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was chasing.
Continuously,
right?
Continuously. Yeah.
We talk about we rock with it in the gym.
So it's I mean,
Kaizen.
right. But so there are laws and principles
Yes.
to get to this thing called success.
Yeah.
So you can almost say that someone chooses not to adopt these laws and principles to get to quote unquote
Absolutely.
success.
Absolutely. That's why we
So
write
that
the
might
book.
that might be your answer, man.
That's what that is.
People just don't adopt the laws and principles.
They,
to get
a
to
lot of people unaware of them.
Yeah.
It's another verse. I don't know where it come from. I don't know what book it's in, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteous law, and all these things can be added unto you. So if you skip the righteous laws and you're just trying to add all these things unto you, you got a headache. Like you don't know why it's eluding you. You got to follow the principles and the laws, and then boom.
Can't happen.
Yeah, you be consistent. You got it.
You got to till the ground. You got to plant the seed. You got to water it. You got to make sure light gets on it. It's going to start to grow. You got to protect it. Then it will bear fruit. Then you can eat.
Boom. Farmer can't just go out there and be like, yo, I got a problem. My family's starving. And I need to, corn, please grow. I got to sell this. You got to go out there and do the work, dog. You know what I'm saying? And you got to go every day. That's pretty dope. Pretty dope. I'm watching it. I don't know what kind of vegetable this is, but this is growing. This shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see it. You know what I mean? What we got, man? Throw us another one. That was another 20 minutes.
I mean, it was just a thing. I was just asking.
I think that was pretty dope.
It was genuinely a question. Like it was just crazy.
I don't know.
Y'all know who Steve Wilkes is?
Nah, who's that? Who's Steve Wilkes?
He was the Carolina Panthers coach.
Was.
Yeah. He's the one that pulled him out of the basement.
They fired him?
Yeah. Well, he was in the interim, whatever that means, head coach, and they just gave the job to a guy, Frank Reich, who used to be the Colts coach who got fired midseason, whose daughters work for the Panthers. And Frank Reich used to play for the Panthers way back in the day, but dude got fired, but in the midseason, but this cat pulled him out of the dungeon. And I don't know, fans are in an uproar. It makes no sense. From a general manager standpoint, from a leader standpoint, it makes absolutely no sense. So some people.
What you think? What you think about it?
I think.
I don't watch football.
I can.
I think Steve Wilkes is black, and I think Frank Reich is white, and I think.
You think he didn't get a fair chance?
I'm willing to bet Lynch's right arm, he didn't get a fair chance, a fair shot, and here we go again. Not getting, an equitable opportunity. So it's real disappointing. And some of these things are really, really obvious. And when you got white fans going ballistic, I think that speaks volumes. Yeah. So, anywho.
When is the last time the Carolina Panthers made the playoffs? Has it been since I stopped watching? 5-6 years?
Nah, I think they was just in the playoffs a couple years ago, right? 2-3 years ago? 3 years ago, maybe?
I'm not sure.
I think EA gonna tell us.
EA Sports.
That is the truth.
He's in the
what's the name? Cam Newton took him to the playoffs. A couple years ago. Maybe 3 years ago.
They were in the Super Bowl. They were in the Super Bowl several years ago.
2017 is when they were 11-5.
So that was like the year.
That's the playoff run.
I stopped watching.
They lost in the wild card.
You sure?
When did they go to the Super Bowl? When were they in the Super Bowl? Yeah,
2015.
2015.
And they were 15-1.
Yep. So, but anywho, I digress.
Yo, were you traveling during the holidays? Because I was overseas. Were you traveling during the holiday time, airlines?
No.
Like Southwest had canceled all them flights. People stuck in the joint.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I guess they learned today what it cost them.
How much it cost them?
$800 million. $800 million.
Wow.
Why?
I don't know if it's going to be fines. I don't know if it's fines and refunds.
Wow.
I'm sure it's a combination of all. Because I think it was because of the system
New York Times says it will cost them more than $1 billion.
Wow. So, one of your members had Southwest as a client. He does IT. He had Southwest as a client, and he said that Southwest their technology, their backbone. That was his fault. Their technology, their backbone is old as dirt, and they just refuse to invest to bring it up to speed.
And they're supposed to be one of the more profitable airlines in the country.
Oh, they are. Yeah.
The most. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Probably because they ain't upgraded in a long time.
Exactly. They don't spend money.
They want to spend no money on this show.
They don't spend money. So yeah, dude was telling us one day after a murder.
Dang.
Yeah,
A murder, he says.
murder. Yeah, because you kill people.
You're not going
and
to
get
help
away
me
with
out.
it. You kill people and get away with
First of all, if anybody wanted to join, you're not going to help me because you're telling people I murdered them.
It's a
It's
good.
true.
It's a good murder though.
it. Yeah, it's true.
That's what you
That's
need.
why I didn't join for years.
That's why he went.
He
That's why he did
crazy.
ChatGPT until 3 a.m. and still went to the gym
crazy.
and got murdered.
Oh, I swear. Yeah, just kind of drug in there.
Y'all, you remember when we was talking about
Hey Max,
y'all notice I ain't been there in a minute, right?
I got accosted coming.
Me and my scale,
I got
though.
cussed out. I got cussed out coming into the gym today because something about because I get there sometimes, but I'll work. I'll sit in the parking lot and work, and so somebody snitched on me. Not gonna call any names. And then when I get in, hey, what? How you get here early and still late? And just went on a rant.
How you get fired on your day off?
How you get fired on your day
That's
off,
the type
Craig?
of thing. Because I know he there. Like, I'll be pulling up sometimes like 8:45, 8:30.
And he be in the parking lot.
He be there. And still don't come in until 9:05 when
At
we start
work.
9.
Be there working.
You know, we talked about Jordan the other day. A couple pods ago, right? Y'all seen what I text you in the group?
Yes, I saw it.
It says Jordan brand has made Nike $19 billion in 5 years.
5 years, 19 billion.
So that means he made. What is he making a year? $250,000? I mean, $250 million a year?
Dang, we just saw that too. We had that.
What's the number? Is the number 5%?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like.
So 10 million. My math is correct. 10 million.
It said he made $150 million in 2022 from Nike.
Oh, okay. So 100 million. Yeah.
No, in 1 year, right?
Yeah, it said in 2022.
2022. So he might, in those 5 years, probably do $500 million.
Yeah.
500 million.
We got a problem with that. That's not enough. That's too much. Why are we talking about Mike's bag?
I know I ain't putting on
I
shoes
think he's
because
talking about-
I know I ain't putting on these shoes because of Phil Knight.
Yeah, he's talking about relative to how much it actually made. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So y'all saying there's a Flow Rider situation?
No, Flow Rider. Forgot about that too. But Flow Rider. No, this ain't no Flow Rider situation.
Okay.
It's a
What was
legally
that?
bonded. He getting paid what he's supposed to get paid. I just wanted because we talked about this before, and I mean, $19 billion in 5 years is a great gross,
Right.
right? Just the Jordan brand, not Nike itself, the brand, like just the.
But if you think about it, Flo Rida made $82 million to MJ's 150. All he had to do was sit in court for a couple of days.
Yo, where
He did more than that.
No, he
Come
did
on,
more
man.
than that. I mean, that's how he.
I'm
got
saying
it.
we're talking about in a year. We're talking about in a year,
That's
like
how he had to
you know.
enforce it. But I think his contract with.
Yeah, but he helped blow it up in the beginning. Like once you get one of those big influencers on a product in the beginning, and
I
then
get mine with something like that, right? Let me know I wanna.
hey, my man had a run. My man had a nice
Man,
run.
He had a nice run.
Yeah.
So did Flo Rida mention Celsius in a song? I know he was drinking it in different commercials, web stuff, and when he's on stage. But did he mention Celsius in a song?
Oh, I'm not sure because I ain't really like dive into it. But I mean, the requirements to being an ambassador and somebody who's a partner and stuff
Right.
like that. Like what I mean, it ain't like you got to put it in every song and stuff like that. You know what I mean. You do your thing, and I guess they didn't want to fulfill
They didn't wanna
the
pay him.
agreement. Yeah.
Because I'm assuming that the $82 million was treble damages.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
for damages.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's 3 times the amount.
He was the brand ambassador from 2014 to 2018.
Was he hot back then?
No.
No,
14 to 18, he wasn't hot.
I don't think he was hot.
I mean, he wasn't. I mean, I don't even think he was in a Pitbull hot because Pitbull was killing.
Violent.
It was killing in Miami and stuff like that.
For forever.
Yo, check this out. I've been seeing this a lot lately.
What's that?
And I'm wondering because this is like has some business behind it. Dr. Dre recently sold his music catalog for a certain time period for $250 million.
Yeah.
Justin Bieber just sold his catalog for 150, 200 million.
So why you think they're doing that
million.
now? Why do you think they're doing that now?
Well, for Dr. Dre, I'm gonna assume he's got some play. He's got a play coming.
Yeah.
So you need to be
So
liquid.
you need liquid.
Need liquid.
Yeah.
I mean, Jay-Z was going liquid because then they announced he was trying to get into owning the football team. So I guess that was a requirement. I'm assuming that's what it is. And plus, Dr. Dre went through a divorce where I think he had to kick out some cash. So he probably had to read that bank account back up.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know why,
But then I mean, Dr. Dre could probably drum up another $200 million before he's dead in his catalog. Like another catalog.
Yeah, but I mean, you talk about legacy, dog. Like, man, you just gave away some of the families. So I don't know what kind of play you got, man.
Yeah, but you know,
I just,
$200 million is a legacy too. If you know what you're doing with it.
I can dig all that. You know what I mean?
Here's what I'm saying is like the music catalog and selling it. I get it. It's a business. Somebody else is gonna run with it. Their main sole focus is they are asset. They buy assets and they go for the long term with a bunch of family house. It's a big investment group that buys these things, and they just collect money. So these are billionaires, big with a big B. They're buying cash flow for a long period of time, and he's probably looking at I can flip 200 million into 400 million and give me 5 years, with investments with his brand. So he was like, maybe this liquid. So he could probably, by the time he's there, he could probably reset that into 500.
I get that part. Name of the podcast is called
The Endgame.
Endgame. All right, now when we talk about Endgame, we talking about legacy. We talking about our kids not having to work. And
200
all
million
that
make that happen.
So without question, but when you have an asset like his music, right? The family don't have to ever worried about if something's gonna happen to the 200 million because you got this stuff right here that is always going to be able to do something.
But look at the risk though. Just I don't know much about this business. But let's just say you say generations, right? So generation we looked up the other day was like 20 years, right? 30 years. Mm-hmm. 30 years. It's 20 to 30 years. So 30 years. If Dr. Dre continues the path that he is now by not making any music, will he still get plays 30 years from now? And will his song still be licensed as much as it is today as it will be 30 years from now? Because remember, Dr. Dre is a legend, but even, people wear off, right? And the new olds become the old olds. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like,
yeah, I don't. Not the way history goes. The way history goes, a classic is a classic, and they keep bringing classics back, and that's why they're classics.
I'm with you 100%. But what I'm saying is, there has to be a somebody smarter than us that knows how to use ChatGPT has made a calculation on the diminishing return of a catalog versus what he can do with a lump sum of 200 million.
Real quick.
Yeah, I'm just
all right. Forget music and forget ChatGPT. And what do you think? The Hilton legacy, Paris Hilton,
they
the
sold
hotel, right?
They sold it.
Okay, so now, what do you think the grandfather did for all these years before it got to Paris and them to where they could actually sell it? Like, the play that they made is the ones that had them wealthy and turned them into, what do they call her, a socialite, where she can just do nothing and then come in and say, well, okay, this is the new wave, we're going to sell our stuff.
At the end of the day, his music catalog generates money. It's an investment that he put in over the time, and it's going to pay out so many millions per year. He obviously took a lump sum to go do something that he felt was more lucrative than waiting for those things.
I got you. I get it.
Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna tell you right now, at the end of the day, I don't care to have my like you know, he talked about he wanted his name on the side of a building at SU. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like my thing is, if I build up, you know, all my companies are for sale, all of them.
Yeah,
Like none of them, they don't hold up. Like the late great Daryl Freeman said, people used to come to him and be like, "Man, why'd you sell your company? That was your family's legacy." He said, "So is $24 million." You know what I mean? Cash. And so now, what I'm saying is, I hope he does something smart with it, because the catalog is the safe play for the long term.
I hope he got paid enough for it.
I think
it's 250 or something. What was
250 million.
250 million.
Yeah, I hope he got paid enough for
You
it.
think it might be less?
I think Dre has made some classics, and
But there's got to be a calculator for this. I know when you got emotional attachment to music. But
well,
there's gotta
not
be
only that,
there's gotta
but
be a calculator.
no, not only that. So, and I've had this conversation with my daughter. I'm like, do you think? Because she knows what's Slick Rick's song.
Children's story.
Thank you. She knows Children's Story word for word. I don't know when it was released, but it was years before her time.
Yeah.
I said, do you think
gotta
you'll
be
be riding in a
86 or
car
something.
with your kids and they'll be playing Chief Keef? I don't know. I don't know, right? Could be, but do you think that'll be happening? I know several years ago, I would say maybe, I don't know, we'll call it 2015. 2015. This song that came out in 1970, which makes it about 53 years old now.
Okay.
We developed an app for ShareNote.
Okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. And it was really, really simple to use. So we wanted to create an ad using ABC as easy as 1, 2, 3, and then while someone was navigating through the app. Do you know how much it would cost us to use that?
How much?
For a 1 minute spot?
How much we go?
$25,000.
Somebody
One
owns
minute.
that. Somebody
Each time we used it.
Yeah.
So again, I just
I'm
hope
assuming
he got
you didn't
enough
use
money. We ain't use it. We were a small minority owned
So I was.
company. No, we did not spend that 25.
I'm looking up, and the question is, why are so many artists selling their stuff? And they're saying Bob Dylan's catalog, not verified but quoted, went for $400 million. Right. You got Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen, Motley Crue, Red Hot Chili Peppers. They all sold the rights. And then somebody says, well, there's some tax benefit to being taking that lump sum, in the sense that you're only taxed at 20% for that lump sum, versus the catalog payouts every year puts them in the highest tax bracket.
Yeah. Ordinary income versus capital gains.
So there goes one thing. So like I said, there's got to be some calculator for this.
Yeah, I hope he got paid.
And some artists are actually re-recording their stuff too. You know, so like there's been a couple of people whose catalog got bought, and they remade all the same songs and re-put them out and making new money off of that too.
Yeah.
No, I mean, well,
No, I think that's a different thing. I think that's when they don't own
That's
their
when they
masters.
don't own their masters.
When they
right?
don't own their masters.
And they create a new
I
master.
mean, yeah, that's fair. But I mean, like I said, the Dream sold his like the front half of his catalog, and he now when he does new songs, like he uses his wife's name as a part of his like.
Here's the thing though. I mean, he sold his music catalog doesn't mean he can't go make new music. He sold what he currently had to that date.
Yes.
And you can even pick out what you want to sell out of it. Like you can say, no, well, I want to reserve this album. Obviously the prices, but yeah, I mean, you can continue to make new music under the same name, but you didn't sell this catalog.
Right.
So in the sense of the Dream is young enough to go still create relevant music in today's society, because he's also like an R&B person, right? Plus he wrote and produced a lot of things, which is probably part of this catalog that he sold, some of his rights to a song. So when you sell your catalog, you're only selling the rights that you actually own of that piece of catalog. Okay. And some of it is the rights, the what do you call it? The licensing rights.
Licensing rights, right.
That's where the money is.
Right.
It's the licensing, right? So they pay this chunk, and they say McDonald's is going to use this, and Rod Cherno's going to call, and we're going to hit him in the head for the 25 every time he play the song.
Right. Yeah.
And, you know, licensing, you know that play.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean,
I think it's like a flip. I think the values of catalogs for the extraordinary artists are pretty high right now, and it's a flip.
and money's what? Money, at one point, money was very cheap, right?
Yeah.
And so you got to think during 2001, early 2002, they weren't getting the money they were getting in the banks, right? People got to really understand how money works, like at the mega level. Yeah. And if money was so cheap, they usually invest in bonds and these things with the government that give a certain guarantee, like it's there, guaranteed per se. And then if that drops below a certain level, it's better for them to go shop elsewhere with their money, to go put it somewhere. And that's when they end up buying companies for cash flow or buying up artists' catalog for $400 million. That was a chunk of their $17 billion they got. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's nothing to them to go write that check. They probably took out their crypto stocks and cashed out crypto and went over there and just bought, you know, Dre's joint. But it's definitely interesting. That's a good question. It's the Endgame podcast, right? Mm-hmm. You talk about legacy, right? And talk about building something to sell something, right? Do you kill the legacy when you sell something that you've built, right? For generations. Is there a point when it passes on generation to generation and then it's sold? Is the legacy over then, or is it cemented, right? So like, I don't know, like the Vanderbilts, they have a legacy, right? Do they actually own anything now? I don't know, I'm asking.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. I know their name is heavy.
Right.
But I don't know if, so that's the question. Does it, when you sold something?
Yeah, there's no outside of the relationships and the emotion attached to the something that we sold. That's it, because the buyer is not concerned about the legacy.
You gonna sell it?
Not concerned about the legacy.
Yeah, so what I was talking about was that, so to keep something like the hotel or the music, I was just saying, like, for years and years and years, they could still do something with that. And of course, you could still do something with the money and all that different type of stuff too. Yeah.
But when you talk
after
about,
a while, you know, there's some of these people that are not gonna know how to run this.
Absolutely, 100%. But like, I still have conversations with people that were a part of the journey. And there's a legacy in those stories and that emotion and that relationship. So if you're talking about that, right. Yeah, and that can't be undone, right? But if you talk about, like, if you look at like the company where it is now and how it's being experienced now, yeah, there's no comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I think selling it, I think it just happens what you do after that.
Absolutely, 100%. Like, what's next? What's next? And what's the next journey? Because that all of the journeys are really tied to your legacy, I believe. Yeah.
That whole thing.
The whole thing. It's
that
not
Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, that's it.
You just gotta have a bunch of layers to that trust, because you creating some easy times for some motherfuckers that ain't gonna be built for it. So if you ain't got that trust tied up the right way, they bound to fuck that shit up.
Yeah.
They gonna mess it up, man.
Yeah.
And you can't mess up, you know, once it's in that trust and you got them layers in it, you can't really, because they should be on stipends at that point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
like,
if you think about it, but if you think about, if you leaving it up to them to create some new stuff, just think about it.
Yeah.
Like right now, who gonna create the new thing in your family?
Me.
Exactly. But I mean,
but I'm okay with that though, because I'm trying to help my family create their new thing.
Right. I'm saying when you out of the picture though, when you ain't here no more.
You don't kill?
It's just,
did you just kill me off?
Nah, Tom gonna do that.
Nah, I'm just trying to get in the DeLorean and you know what I mean, just Fast forward
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
No, that's real. No, that's a great point, and that's people should be paying attention to that too. But if you look at like Deion Sanders' legacy, there's so many layers to his legacy, and he just added Jackson State to his legacy. You know, he got baseball, he has football, and all the things he did in college, pro level. He added Jackson State, which will be a key part now to his legacy. So you can still build upon it, I think. So, but you said he sold to Colorado, so that's it. He's dead.
That wasn't what I was saying. What I was saying was, I was saying if you guys sold, right, after how many years in the business?
Like 15.
15. If y'all sold after 3, would it be the bag that you got now?
No.
That's all I'm saying.
Gotcha.
If you would have sold after 3 years, you was at your mom crib,
Gotcha.
right? You got out the basement, boom. After that, now you're on your 3rd year. Now you go and you out. With what you got right now, I wouldn't even have been at We Live 2020 if you'd have sold after the 3rd year. What year you was in the basement? You've been doing it for 7 or 8 years?
16.
16, right? So 19, you'd have been done. You'd have been out of real estate. That's your Colorado. Now, you've built something for 8, 9 years now. Not 3, dog. Not 3. And then if you take half of this with you that you build in 3, all right? The first season, you lose. Okay? First season, you're losing, right? Second season, you win. Third season, you lose in the championship. All right? Then you take half of the team with you and all the stuff that you brought. You had 2 winning seasons, 1 championship, 1 losing season, 1 you lost in the championship. And you take half of it with you. That's a great legacy. I don't think so. This is what I'm trying to tell you. I'm saying he did some dope stuff, and some people are going to build on that. But what I'm saying is you got to stay down for a little bit. And he got a different end game. I'm just talking about the 3 years.
Right.
That's all I'm talking about. And if your share note was 3 years, then people wouldn't have bought your joint at 3 years.
Right.
You would have got another bag somewhere because you were a genius.
Somebody would have bought it, but not them.
Right, yeah. Not
No,
them,
they wouldn't even think about selling in 3 years.
No, they had an offer.
Yeah, we had not inside 3 years. We had several, but not inside 3 years. I want to change gears if we can. I got a question for you. So I'm listening to, re-listening to Prison to Prosperity. And I don't know how many times I've listened to it, but something stood out. That's Lynch's book. That's Lynch's book. And we can put the link on how you can get Prison to Prosperity in the comments. But I heard something that I never heard the way I heard it today. And I want you to help people because I know people have a similar problem. And it's the piece that when you talk about your dad and you talked about how growing up, it was your mom that pretty much that was the caregiver. That's who, you had the relationship with, who was, trying to keep you and your brother straight, yada, yada, and didn't have a relationship with your dad. But in later years, he became your best friend.
Yeah.
So how did you navigate that relationship? Just help people with that because, I know people can benefit. And I matter of fact, I know someone right now who is having that struggle and can't get over the hump of creating that relationship with their dad.
Got you. So this is a tough question. While I'm speaking, can you look up Stoic? Stoic, okay. So I read this book before. It was called The 4 Agreements. You ever heard of it?
Yes, sir.
4 Agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Great
and
book.
one of the 4 agreements is to never take anything personal. Don't take things personal. Nothing. Because what others do and say is not about you. It's about them. They live in their own world. You got your own world. So getting this information, it allowed me to say, whatever it's 3 sides to every story. Is your side, or in this case, your mom's side, right? It's your dad's side,
Right.
and then it's the truth, right? And most of the time, as kids, we only hearing one side, right? And there's a whole nother side. And there's the truth that we never know about. So I had to ask myself, what if Pops was, so my pop did a little drugs, you know what I mean? They had a little stint where he went through drugs and stuff like that. And what if Pops had the drug thing going on and he couldn't be the man that he needed to be in our family because he was dealing with addiction? And what if that was God's way of taking that vice or that devil or that demon out of our life at that time, removing that from us so that wouldn't be part of our paradigm and our mindset and our subconscious and our actual life growing up when we were 8 and 9 years old. Like some kids actually they see their parents shooting up dope and smoking crack and stuff like that. But God removed our father and mother's relationship, right? So that we didn't have to see that. The dope part was all my friends, ain't none of us have dads. So we ain't know we ain't had no dad anyway. We was just, I'm telling you, it was dope. Like we was just like rocking. So you know what I mean? But had like we've been the only family that ain't have a dad, then we'd be like yo, why my dad ain't picking me up?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So anyway, with that paradigm shift, bro, it allowed me to give him the benefit of the doubt of whatever he was going through and whatever he had to work on, because once I became an adult, I had some that I was going through that I couldn't do. I wasn't doing regular man stuff because I was chasing a bag the wrong way, right?
It wasn't perfect.
Right. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, yo, man, this was kind of dope how it played out. And I didn't turn out bad. So long as he's still living, let's see what he was rocking with. Let's see what was going on. So the way the universe presented it, it was my brother went to jail. Me and my brother 18 months apart. So he went to prison, did a state joint, right? And my brother was in the state joint and they knocked me off. My brother come home. And so it was like one in, one out, then one in, and then one out. You know what I mean? It's been like that for the last 20 years or so, right? You know what I mean? So while my brother's in, me and my pop used to go visit him. You know all the facilities is in the mountains. So we get 2 hours of bonding time driving up. Then when you get there, you got a 2-hour visit. You got 2 hours, you bonding. Then you driving back. You got 6 hours of bond time now. You remember when you in a car, you held captive. So everywhere you go, here I got 6 hours that I'm in solitary confinement with my pop. Now we just kicking it. And you realize like, this dude is a genius. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's teaching me about Kip. So the reason why we like my pop name is, so I'm Lynch the third, right? My pop is Lynch Senior. I got a brother named Lynch Junior, right? Right. I got another brother named Lawrence, right? One of my brothers went to University of Penn. It's an Ivy League school, right? You know what I mean? All this stuff, but they got different moms. They didn't grow up with him either, but they upset because he left their relationship with my mom to come with my mom. So we 10 years difference in age, right? So they upset and don't have a relationship with him because that family left that family, built a new family, right? This nigga graduated from Ivy League. What he mad at? I went to prison, 10 joints. I'm standing out of crack, breaking day all night like that, motherfucker kicking my door in, like guns to the mom. What did you mad at? You know what I'm saying? Like I did a eulogy at my pop's funeral. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying. So my perspective, the Ivy League ain't even allow him to break this stuff down to develop the relationship that, you know what I'm saying, that could actually be is part of spirituality.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So I'm saying all this to say that whatever people going through, like nothing others do and say is because of you. What did you pick up Stoic? You Stoic? Give me a definition of Stoic. Stoic.
A person who can endure pain, hardship without showing their feelings or complaining.
Boom. When you could be a Stoic. Now this is ancient philosophy. Was this Greek philosophy?
Stoicism, yeah.
Yep.
It's Greek. All right. So
Yeah, it is Greek.
So listen.
Got him, yeah.
No, check it out. I'm about to break it down to you. You know who the Greeks studied under? Huh? Chemists. Do you know who chemists are? You know the Pythagorean. Do you know remember the Pythagorean theorem?
Yes.
You know the Pythagoras, you know what I'm talking about? They call him the god of mathematics. Guess where he studied at? Kemet, dog. He got all his knowledge from the Africans. All right, so so the original information came from the Africans. But guess where I learned the Kemets and stuff from? I learned it from my pop. So my pop, remember I said his name was Lynch? Mm-hmm. Well, he got another name too. It's Abrifa Umar Ali Shabazz. So when I'm sitting up here and I'm kicking the knowledge of self and all that stuff, like my pop then imparted a lot of that stuff on me. So when I say inshallah to you, when I say all that, like I know all this stuff because it was part of, you know what I mean, the rituals and routines that I had to go through when I just went to go see. Like I'm dope in Tunk. You ever heard of Tunk?
Yeah.
All right, so me and my brother been gambling since we was 9 and 10 years old. You know why? Because when we went to go visit our dad for that one weekend or two, he ain't had no TV. We played cards. So when we come back to the hood, the grown dudes with playing for money, me and my brother playing. So me and my brother gambling at 9 and 10 and whooping old motherfuckers in the game. They hate us in the joint. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, like I don't gamble and shit to this day because this the shit I came up doing. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So anyway, I picked up gambling because I was there a couple weekends. Now imagine what else I would have picked up if I was there all the time. You understand what I'm saying?
If he was around all the time.
If he was around all the time, I might be zooted out my mind. Like I might be on, you know what I'm saying? I might have some of that habit in me, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So it's 6 on one side, half a dozen on the other, man. I've been blessed to play sports. Sports kept my mind off of a lot of stuff that was going on at the time. You understand what I'm saying? Like if you always got to be at practice and you always got a game coming up and you always got to, I had to cut weight when I was young.
You ain't got an idle time.
You don't got time to be mad at what the hell's going on and shit like that. You got to do it all over again tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
So your answer to the person that's dealing with that right now is Stoicism.
Yeah, so it's...
I think his answer is don't take anything personal.
Don't take anything personal. Yeah. Because you don't know what those people are dealing with. Like it's 3 sides to every story. Right. You know what I mean? You might just, your mom just might be like, your dad ain't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So in your subconscious mind, that's all you hear is my dad ain't. So I got my other siblings. Guess what they think? They think my dad ain't. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, this is a genius. I'm like, that's where I get this stuff from. And you know what I mean? And then you start diving into talks. And then with me and my dad on the visit, and I'm in jail now, right? Me and my dad on the visit, and Wendy come with my dad, right? She listening like, yo, the conversation these students, I ain't even gonna say nothing because these dudes are geniuses. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So it's like once y'all know how it is when you go around your family for like the holiday and you got to dumb it down and you can't talk to nobody and you can't be yourself.
Certain things, yeah.
Well, I could actually talk to my dad about the man that I was becoming, all the stuff that I was learning and how the world was opening up to me because he's been through self-actualization, you know what I mean? Which is with the book, The Transformation, you know what I'm saying? So here's some dope stuff for y'all real quick. The reason why, remember you talked about, what did you say? You said when we be survival mode. Survival. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs is when you don't have the basic needs and necessities, the food, clothing, shelter, then you in survival mode. So you can't never get the self-actualization or transformation or, you know what I mean, thinking about how to create legacy and all this other type of stuff because you're trying to figure out how to survive, right? And that's where some of these people are, the fathers and stuff like that, they're in survival mode at this time. So they can't actually provide for you because they're trying to figure out how to get this demon off their back or how to get, you know what I mean, get their head above water because they got some shit they dealing with. You understand what I'm saying?
100%.
So, I mean, I've realized that though because I had to go through a bunch of stuff, dog. Like, you know what I mean? And I was up. So my brother was in prison, but I'm up. Y'all don't forget when they say leader of $8.3 million drug ring, like I'm getting money to where I think that, you know how football players and basketball players, they get a big bag and every week they spend a whole bunch of money and it's like paycheck. So we getting that kind of money every day. So I just think that there's a well, like, you know what I mean? So I don't have a problem with the basic needs of survival. I'm getting money hand over fist. So I go through this transformation thing in my head, like where it's like, yo, I gotta want, there's more out there now. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I start to want knowledge and seek knowledge and stuff like that to figure out what else can I get, because money now is nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I go through this transformation in my head. Then I go to jail and I go through this then. You know what I mean? So I done been through this whole shit twice. You know what I mean? Like you rise up from nothing, you become a millionaire, and then you go back to nothing, and then you rise up. And that's the only reason why I'm sitting up here now talking to y'all, you know what I mean? Because it's my second time, you know what I mean, on the rise up tip.
Second go round.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And I just, on a practical level, I just kind of, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Where now it's like, yo, you got to give some grace there. So it ain't no grace to the person that is in their feelings because they not stoic. You understand what I'm saying?
100%.
And to be in the spirit, then if you in the spirit, you can give grace. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you're in your higher self and you thinking here, you're like, oh shit, like, man, something was up there. And I'm glad, like, he could have been whooping on mommy all day long. You know what I mean? At least he was over there just getting high.
I think to just have this ultimate never forgive or move beyond a situation is to almost testify that you don't believe in the creator, or that that things happen for a reason. Mm-hmm. Right? And so I think you have to be careful when you be like, nah, I ain't gonna rock with that no more. Like, they dead to me.
Yeah.
Because they did this or this happened. How do you not know that was not supposed to happen?
Right.
And how do you know what that person was going through? Because most of us never ask.
Right. I mean, we're supposed to, divine intelligence is supposed to govern this whole joint, right? And even if you don't believe in, like, God, some people don't. Well, you're right. I don't know, dog. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, what you just described is a major form of fear.
Yeah.
Right. It's just a major form of fear. And your brain uses fear to, quote unquote, protect you. But if you can't etch and sketch and shake free of that, yeah, it's a debilitating state.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. That's real good.
It's a debilitating state. Appreciate that, man. That was that's powerful, man. I appreciate that. Thanks for being
So
vulnerable.
the book is audio?
Man. Yeah, there's an audio. Yeah.
Matter of fact, I came to his car earlier, and like the joint was playing in his car and everything. Yeah. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, I listen to it every now and then. It keeps me, grounded, man. Keeps me grounded and keeps me, one of the dangers of being around certain people is getting familiar with them. Like, it's easy, I can just get familiar with you, and then that's just mask.
Take it for granted.
Take it for granted, and not respect not disrespect, but not have reverence for the genius. Like like your crew, they can be around you and not and lose focus and knowledge of the fact that you're a dope cat. So because they're around you all the time.
You can hang around LeBron and kind of forget that he's the best basketball player
walking
right now.
100%. So every now and then, I just gotta
do so easy. You do what you do so easy. You do what you do so easy that people just think that it's some regular stuff.
Yo, who do y'all vent to? Who do y'all feel safe vent to? You don't have to say who, like, name the person, but like, where's your outlet other than being a stoic? Like, because there is like, we do it. Successful people is known to do it more than most, being a stoic, because you always looked upon as somebody that's supposed to be so strong at all times. But who do you pick up the phone and be like, man, and then you snap back and be like, all right, cool, I'm about to go. I got to go back to being a stoic.
So for me, it used to be my pop.
Yeah,
it literally used to be my pop. I used to just hit him up and just be like,
I'm about to vent.
Yeah. And it was just like, it'll come out, some type of way. Now it's just you guys, every now and then, I go on a little rant or something like that. But Rod will be like, yeah, let that shit out. You know what I mean? But honestly, though, honestly, I got to do better. I have to do better. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Because there's a dangerous side to being a stoic at all times.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
What about you? Who do you?
I had a vent session at lunch with my wife today. I have vented with our mastermind group with you guys.
Yeah.
Depending upon the topic, the folks that are on my team with Greenwood Logistics, business partners.
I mean, truly like being the opposite of what people see you as.
Yeah.
In some of your weakest moments and being like, can you believe this? Like
Yeah,
showing all of those emotions that you, and then zip it back up and be like, all right, man, I'm
Yeah,
done.
our group, our mastermind group is. I
great
think
for
that's
that.
a safe, vulnerable place for us.
Yeah, I think you were out of town when we had the
the last one, yeah,
Yeah, I
and
wasn't
it
missing
was some of that.
Damn, where was we
Some
at
of
the Chart
that
House? I mean, what was the name of the joint? What was
Chop House.
Let me host the next one.
The Chop House.
I'll pull up to Greensboro since all of y'all in Greensboro.
Yeah. But it
Well,
was.
I had something special. I don't know where we're gonna do it at, but I wanted y'all to have that lobster. I was gonna get that
yeah,
joint catered with that
yeah.
always like 5 lobster dishes.
Nola.
But anyway,
Chef
it's all
Nola.
good. It's all good. Yeah.
But that was
We
one
just
of
gotta
those.
do it. We gotta
That was one of
do it
those
at the crib.
sessions.
We'll kick my wife out.
We can. But then you got
Gracefully.
your chef. You can't. You know what I mean? That's gonna be
No.
guys.
We'll have
This is one time.
We'll have it's
Yeah.
it's a planned chef.
okay. All right. Cool. That's cool.
But that session was a lot of that took place because everybody was dealing with something.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of that.
Because we haven't
group-
met in a while.
That group is.
Yeah.
So we've probably been in store for a long time. But a spouse is helpful for you?
Yeah, I mean, I do to an extent.
Yeah.
With my wife, I like. I just,
You can't lay it all
I don't
the way
bring
out.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it can't because it's
can't.
sometimes it's too much to even listen to if you don't.
Right.
yeah.
Why not?
You'll realize one day.
I've been in the
got
game
some
longer than
difference
you,
there.
Max. I've been in the game longer than you.
He's been married 2 months more long. No, I'm not talking about that. I mean, in a level like you'll get to a level of responsibility and success to where it is dangerous to speak freely. And I'm not saying speaking to your spouse is dangerous, but you can't put. I don't even want to make this sound bad because you don't want to overload the computer with worriness because some people can't handle what we deal with on a day-to-day basis. Like the what we have to deal with on a mental capacity may drive some people insane.
Yeah.
But it's what is that? Who much is given, much is expected.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm complaining about it. I just know that I can't on a 4 megabyte computer I can't go try to run 3D software.
No, that's real. Yeah.
Yeah. And you got to know the limitations, the strength of.
And I don't want them
Some
worrying. I
individuals-
don't want the person I love the most to worry. So even I won't tell my mom everything. Even when I was a kid, you never told your mom everything.
I don't be telling my mom
Nothing because you don't want them to be like, yo, they
She
gonna
gonna
stress
worry
out.
anyway.
You're gonna worry to death.
Yeah,
So you don't
yeah.
want your wife or your spouse to get there. So you tell them to an extent, right? You vent because they are a part of what you happening, but you can't go all the way because they'd be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So a part of that, that's really it's an art
I've only been married
versus
a year.
a science because what you don't want to happen is something to come up that
They found out
involves them. Well, you definitely don't want them to find out something that's material from somewhere else, right? Number one. Number two, if something comes up that's going to impact your family, that's pretty significant. But along the way, everything was wonderful. Then that one thing that hits them might be the thing that breaks
Yeah, don't
them.
do nothing like that.
Yeah, it might be the thing that breaks them. So
I mean, if you about to lose a
It's
house, tell them
important.
you about to lose a house.
but you telling them that you about to lose the house when they've never heard you vent or
Correct.
might be, and to you it's like, okay, we're gonna figure this
that
out,
ton of
yada
bricks.
yada. But they
That's
might be
that ton of
like,
bricks.
oh my god, huh?
Don't say,
that
hey,
ton
we
of
losing
bricks.
the
Yeah,
house
that's that
next
ton of
month.
bricks. They're like, you know,
You
Be like, hey,
ain't
look,
threw
things
a
is getting a little
pebble.
rocky for the next few months. We're gonna have to scale back.
Yeah.
If they heard that 6 months ago,
right? Maybe
don't just
yeah.
throw them. Hey, they put the note on the door today. Don't do that.
No, yeah. So
That's,
so
that's
an art.
concealing at that point. That's not what
it's
I'm
an
speaking
art,
of.
and like you said, you have to know what especially when it comes, I believe, to your spouse, because they say that, or the Bible talks about, her being the weaker vessel. It doesn't mean that she can't lift anything. It just means she can't lift as much as you.
That's
Right? So you know how much she can lift, and so that's what you're gonna allow her to bear, or you should have an idea of what she can live. So yeah,
And then there's some things that they're very strong in.
absolutely.
That you give them.
way stronger.
Yeah, way stronger.
And
You
we're
give
the weaker
them all
vessel.
of that.
And
You're
we're
like,
the
I'm
weaker
about to tell
vessel.
you everything.
Oh yeah,
Come with something.
Yes.
Give me a
I
solution
need you
before
on
I go
this
kill
one.
this
Yes,
person.
yes. Talk me out of this tree.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm about to jump.
I'm about to be out.
Yeah. So today though, I know we got to wrap it up. Today, I told Wendy, I was like, yo, she caught up to me today. So I probably didn't climb into the bed until about 11 o'clock last night, and sure enough,
That's super
I was
late for you.
Yeah, man, 2:38. I didn't even hit the joint.
I told these cats, I said, I seen Lynch's story this morning at 3 a.m.
Yep.
My man was on a treadmill.
Yes.
I said, here's what I said. I said, y'all need to get this podcast ready so when they show up, we record, he goes home. Because he'd be dead. This man don't miss. I said, I seen him at 3.
Yep.
I'm in
I
bed
put it
like
on
this,
the
and I'm
story.
looking at the phone. I'm seeing him at 3. I felt bad. I threw the phone on the other side.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, man, the grind is real, man. You know, it's
So for instance,
it's gonna
you
bounce
told
out. Nah, I just told her that. You know, when I got up this morning, I was tired.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I actually, told her that, but. I be on my subconscious mind, stuff like you said, overloading the program. You got to watch what you say out loud and stuff like that. So, I can't let my conscious mind, subconscious mind buy into that story too long, you know what I mean? But you can physically be tired, man. You can physically be tired and acknowledge it too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Dog tired, but I'm gonna get this done.
I'm gonna push. Yeah, I'm
But
gonna push.
on Sunday, I'm gonna sleep in.
Yeah, I got
Something,
to.
you know what I mean? Something.
Oh yeah. No, so I got to make it to tomorrow because on Saturday and Sunday, I don't have to be to the gym until the first class at 8. It's only one class at 8 o'clock. So I'm gonna go do cardio at 6 or 6:30.
That's
So
3 hours.
that's 4 more hours of sleep. Yeah,
He's
that's a whole
sleeping in.
day for me.
He's sleeping
you know
in.
What I mean? Yeah, that's a sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's sleeping in.
Yeah, I can get 3-4 more hours. That's dope. So I just feel like if I am deprived, I can go ahead and fill back up on those 2 days right there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And since I've been hitting the cardio all week long or something like that, and I don't have to go as early or as long or something like that. Oh, it's all good. We figure it out.
Right.
How y'all feeling though? How y'all feeling? I'm not tired anymore. R7,
I feel
podcast.
great.
The podcast energizes me, no matter how long and late and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is like filling the cup up. We get a chance to
Absolutely.
let some stuff out. We get a chance to be creative. We get a chance to embark on a new journey. You know what I mean? It's build some stuff. So there's a lot of dopamine that gets produced and comes out right here. And I enjoy this. You know what I'm saying? So
I do
100%.
too. I
100%.
appreciate y'all making that trip a couple times a week. I mean, I just got to walk out of my back door.
Yeah.
So I have the privilege of being like, yeah, I'm cool.
Yeah.
I could be in bed, showered in 20 minutes.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
you
all
ain't
good.
even halfway home. You barely halfway home by that point.
I'm,
So
I'm listening to a book. I'm listening to something that's feeding me. So it's meditative almost making that drive. So yeah,
But I'm
cool with
Gucci
it.
though. I'm good. I'm cramming a lot into a short amount of time.
Man, you done picked up your game. I see you.
Well, I'll say this. I'll say that for the last couple of years, one of my hardest things that I've ever been faced with is personnel. In all my companies, and when you make sizable amount of payrolls, you feel like certain things should be lifted off your shoulders, and when it's not, not only that, you just become frustrated because it's the one part that any entrepreneur, no matter how successful they are, will tell you is the kryptonite to any business is the personnel, it's the people.
Period.
And so I've been struggling with that for a long time. I finally feel like I'm getting somewhere with that and bestowing responsibilities upon people that can handle it and delegate and task. And so we're putting it to the test right now. So I feel a little bit better and things are getting better.
Right.
And
I
I'm
wanna
loading
give-
the
I want to
plate.
give a shout out to the staff that I actually see when I come around because these dudes are
That's
doing
what I'm talking
it.
about.
I was
That's
gonna
what I'm
say,
saying. Yeah. I know the ones that I see. You got a lot of people, a lot of stuff going on and everything.
Yeah,
like
so
that,
we got
but
Brandon, we got EA, we
yeah,
got Tony.
Yeah.
And then, we got people in my other companies, but the people that produce these shows. I mean, yesterday we were doing an announcement at a school, 7:45, and we finished here at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
So we were recording from 7:45 in the morning, recorded all day. Then you met us at the other
At the other studio, yeah.
So
Putting that content down there, that's some dope stuff.
Yeah, I haven't been around. I've been around several of the folks that you've worked with in the past, and I put my money on this team.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I put my money on this squad. So.
How you feel?
Welcome to Death Row.
I feel good, man.
Yeah, how you
I
feel?
feel good, man. I had a real life.
all in the video.
What he said? Oh, right.
Welcome to Death Row.
Right.
How you feel, Rod?
I feel great, man. I had a real life, like pulling up to the gym, a real life situation, entrepreneur situation. When I had one of my employees call me and said, "Hey, today's payroll." I said, "We didn't get paid today." I'm like, hold on. And then the first like 3 transactions in my online banking joint is payroll coming. I'm like, "Yeah, you did." I'm like, "Nah, we." And so it was a snafu with the my payroll processor. They the W-2s got processed. That's automatic because you know how much they get paid, right?
Yeah.
But the contractors got to submit what their payment
Correct.
is, and so they put the wrong pay date. They put the 27th instead of the 26th, right? So that like sent me into a panic because that's the one thing you don't screw up. You do not screw up payroll, and so regardless of why it got messed up, you just don't screw it up, right?
They don't care.
And so the dope thing was, my dispatch manager identified it and called me because they the way they get paid was a part of that contractor piece. And so I was like, wow. I said, okay, let me figure it out. So I figured it out, found out what the problem was. And then I called everybody and said, yo, this is what happened. Yeah. This is how it happened. Now, if you need me to get you money today, I can. Everybody was like, psh, every single contractor. So 5, 6 people was like, psh, good.
That's good stuff.
We good. So that made me feel real good, but it still made me feel bad. I even sent another text thanking them, hey, I've talked to everybody, and I sent a screenshot of the conversation with the payroll processor just to let them know that, this was not intentional, yada, yada. But it was for a moment, it was kind of emotional because it was like, yeah, that one thing you don't do is mess with people's payroll. Yeah, so that was an event early this morning that I had to deal with, but other than that, man, I had a great day and just so excited about the future. So I'm good.
It's dope.
I'm great. I'm great because I have to do burpees by saying I'm good.
Hey, listen, don't forget the kids of QEA School, which is a charter school, black charter school, one of the original 30 charter schools in North Carolina. We're teaming up with that school to send, I think it's 40 kids,
45,
20
45.
adults.
Oh,
or
I
45.
thought it was 45 and 15.
45 and 15. So 45 kids from this area to Ghana for a week. And we're going to go too. We're going to go with them. Not with them, but we'll be there at the same time. And we need your help to bring them. So I've donated $20,000. The team's going to donate some more. We need to get to $200,000 so we can get these kids over there because it's a life-changing experience.
No doubt.
And we want these kids to realize what the world has to offer them. And so if you can, there's going to be a link in the show notes. And we don't ask for anything. It's all
going straight to the school.
So yeah, it's GoFundMe. Go straight to school.
Yeah.
So I put my money where your mouth is. If you guys could even put $5, that'd be dope. $5 will help. So we appreciate you guys. You know what it is. Thank you for watching the Endgame podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, you know what you need to do. Hit that subscribe button. If you're new here, mash that like button because we put out episodes every single week. And if you're on podcast land, you know what it is. Hit that 5-star and leave a review. But now my name is Max Maxwell.
I'm Rod Brown.
I'm Lynn Chunt.
This is the Endgame podcast. We out.
Peace.